Hey everybody, it's Chuggaaconroy. Welcome to my new Let's Play of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, the sequel to Pokemon Colosseum, which I Let's Played just last year. Hard to believe it's been that long already, actually. Then again, in the Ori region, it's been even longer. This takes place in the same region 5 years after the original game. And it's not quite a direct continuation of the previous story. This is mostly a new story, but it does continue a few things. I don't want to get too deep into it because we're going to be doing that in the main game, of course. Anyway, this one, just like its prequel, I feel does not get the attention it deserves from Pokemon fans, or really anybody in general. I guess maybe it was just kind of bad timing. It came out in that era where people weren't really paying attention to the GameCube. But while I feel it isn't quite soar to the same heights of quality as the handheld games, and while I do still choose to replay the handheld games over these two, I feel like XD is still a respectable game and at least worth trying out, especially if you want something new and original from the Pokemon series, because this is not about collecting 8 gym badges and going to go fight the Pokemon League. The battle system is largely unchanged, still turn-based, you still have, super effective and not very effective moves and all that, but it still breaks the mold nonetheless, and I do feel like some of these changes are for the better, and I can really appreciate them trying to try something new, and it's really a shame that they never did anything like this again after the GameCube generation, because I was really hopeful we'd get something like this on the Wii, or even the Wii U, but to this day, nothing has ever been announced. Let's not talk about that, though. No need to be negative when we can plainly see in this intro that Mirror B is in this game, and that's always a good thing in my books, because I love Mirror B, probably way more than I should. Anyway, Pokemon games are some of my favorite games to play, and they're some of your guys' favorite games to watch me play based on the reception to this, so I am really excited to get this started. Let's get into it. An all-new Pokemon adventure, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. And in an incredibly awkward transition that has nothing to do with anything we just saw, we are in our first battle somehow, clear across the world in a completely unrelated situation. So as per usual, I do want to go over Pokemon in great detail, and what other Pokemon game lets you friggin' start off with a level 50 Salamence? Yes, our first Pokemon is Salamence, with friggin' Earthquake, Dragon Dance, Brick Break, and Dragon Claw. Okay, Brick Break's not really the best move to put on Salamence, but still, this is a friggin' Salamence. It has an excellent ability of Intimidate. It is one of the all-around most powerful Pokemon around. This thing is such a powerhouse, for a time it was tournament banned. Yeah, I don't think I need to say enough good about this thing. The fact that we are starting off with Salamence, I think, speaks total volumes. Even though Metagross is good as our opponent, that thing might as well just give us the game right here and now, because that thing does not stand a chance. We have Earthquake, it is done. And because it is the law for all NPCs in the land of Ori to have really stupid names, let's see what your name is. Lostin. Lostin? More like losin', am I right? And my pun was so bad it made him question his life and drop down to his knees. Standard fare for puns I make these days, really. I mean, I certainly see it enough. Alright, Michael, this will do for today. Hate to tell you, it was all just a simulation. Battle skills have improved an amazing amount. I mean, the way you handle that big Pokemon with a plum. I like that, a plum. Again, that is one of my favorite words. It's fun to say. You took command of it as though it was the same as your Eevee. Don't you think it's time you should consider raising other Pokemon besides your Eevee? Okay. Well, the bad news is, we don't start off with a Salamence. The good news is, I got something even better. We start off with an Eevee. Now, I want to just take a few moments to say how much I love this idea. The fact that we start off with an Eevee. Eevee is, as you know, a very versatile Pokemon. It's not really one of the better normal types out there, but it has the capability of evolving into one of 5 different Pokemon in this particular game. and I want to get into its evolutions later. But just so you know, this is an excellent idea for a starter Pokemon. Giving you the same starter Pokemon as everyone else, but letting you choose what you want it to evolve into is a really cool concept, and I wish another Pokemon game would do this again because we got more Eevee evolutions now. I feel like this was a brilliant idea on their part, letting us start out with an Eevee. Anyway, let's go ahead and explore this area. It seems we're in a Pokemon lab of sorts. Yeah, that's probably the only similarity you're going to be seeing between the main game and this one. Why, hello, Michael. Okay, let's see. I'm writing up a summary based on the basics of Pokemon battles. Like I said, it's mostly basic information, but if you care to look, I've written my summary on the whiteboard. After all, the basics are important for a reason. Indeed, the basics are important. And there's probably a whole 3 of you watching this video who don't know how to play Pokemon games, but I do need to cater to those people as well. It's only fair. But at the same time, those of you that have played Pokemon games before, you're probably going to find this really boring and redundant. So I'm going to go through this as fast as humanly possible. And you guys know me, I am excellent at talking fast and paraphrasing stuff. So let's do this one item at a time. Beat up animals! Yes, when they're owned by other people. Don't suck! Read the 4 options. Water puts out fire. When things get rough, get the hell out of Dodge. Your opponents will infuriate you by doing this. We'll get to this later. When to get stronger, when to get money. I explained this 2 sentences ago. When to hit harder, when to get bigger. You better have burn heal. Water puts out fire. Water, once again, puts out fire, and it does double damage when it does. Fire is put out by water, and it does half damage when it does. All participants in battle get stronger. You use 2 Pokemon 99% in this game, so the first half of this is completely pointless. It's against the rules to catch something when it passes out, but not if it's weakened. There we go. Now all of you know how to play Pokemon and know all the ins and outs and intricacies of it, so let's get started. Hi Michael, have you finished training? Michael, this is the director's office. Did you want to pay a visit to Professor Crane? Well, I'm kind of already standing in the same room as the guy, so I would say that I've already kind of paid a visit to him, and yeah. No need to be so stiffly official, Lily, as he says. It sounds funny, but I do agree with him. Oh yes, I heard the battle coach singing high praise about you, Michael. I think Mike... Oh, okay, I won't even try to sing, but still, it sounds funny, singing high praise. Heard that your battling skills have improved dramatically recently, and that's outstanding, Michael. People love saying my name all the time. I still don't think I stand much of a chance against you. I wish everyone wouldn't drown them with such gushing praise all the time. My son and daughter will be spoiled rotten. Oh, my mom's name is Lily and my name is Michael. I get it. I'm the main character because I come from the one family that has normal names in a sea of dumb names in this region. Michael, I hate to bother you, but could you go find Jovi for me? Michael, I think you already know, but several research projects are in their critical phases in the lab. That's why your mother can't afford to take any time off right this instant. So please, honey, will you go and find Jovi for me? All right, Mom. Thank you, I'm counting on you. I don't think she could have wandered off too far, but just in case, check outside too. All right, so after 5 long years, it seems the project here at the lab is coming to fruition with my mother's expertise. She's not the Pokemon professor, but hey, close enough. And it seems that we're getting a PDA. Let's see here, PDA for Pokemon Digital Assistant. Back in the days when people actually used PDAs to check email and stuff like that. Okay, so there we go. Our first objective is to find our baby sister. Not quite as exciting as what we started off doing in Coliseum, where we freaking blew up a criminal hideout and then fled to some stand outside of Fenac City. So I do have to say, this one doesn't start off quite as exciting as the previous one. Doesn't quite start off with a bang. Gotta make that fun again. But yeah, it's Michael's room. Lately, his kid sister seems to have the run of the place. And that table looked really, really nice and smooth before you zoomed into it. All right. Let's see what that shiny is. PDA, of course. We got mail. If you're reading this email, you have obtained the PDA. Try out its many features. By the way, Adon was playing hide and seek with Jovi. Why not have a chat with him? Okay, fair enough. I feel like before we move on, I should go over the PDA really briefly. This is basically your trainer card in this game. It'll show you how much money you have, your ID number, Poke Coupons, which we'll get into much later, how long you've been playing and all that. The strategy memo is this game's Pokedex. Any Pokemon that you have obtained in this game will be in your Pokedex. I will be giving bios and explanations for every Pokemon that you can obtain in the game, minus evolutions, just because I'll talk about the evolutions when we encounter pre-evolutions of the Pokemon. Mailbox, we just went into, nothing really special there. There are other functions of the PDA, but we'll be getting into that a little bit later, just because they're not all open to us right away. We got 3 free potions right there, which heal 20 HP. I do have to say, though, Michael is such a fitting default name for this hero, considering he has a basketball hoop in his room. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I feel like it kind of is. But anyway, that email was telling us that we need to go and find Adon, which, if you were paying attention, we were upstairs, you would have seen that there was an old man under this table right here. This stumped me so long when I was a kid, you would not believe it. Let's see. Whoa, you startled me. Oh, hi, it's you, Michael. It's me, Dawn. You're looking for Jovi. We're supposed to be playing hide and seek right now, but she isn't around anywhere. Well, maybe she's gone up to Dr. Kaminko's manor. Whoa, okay. It's a big, weird house southeast of here. Jovi's it in our game of hide and seek. I wish you'd find me soon. My back is starting to hurt. That is mean. I had kids do that all the time to me when I was a kid when they wanted to ditch me. You know, like they would play hide and seek. They would make me go hide and they had to find me and then they would just go home. I really shouldn't be admitting to that because it's actually kind of pitiful. And it seems like there's some TV news that we should go pay attention to, says the guy with blue hair. Let's go in here and see what's up. We bring you ONBS News. Authorities still have failed to find any traces of the cargo ship SS Libra since its sudden disappearance off the coast of Gatian Port. There have been no reports of flotsam that may indicate the ship's sinking. The authorities appear to be mystified. The authorities appeared mystified by the way the ships vanished like smoke. There are reports that numerous Pokémon were aboard. Concern is rising over their welfare. Wow, a cargo ship carrying Pokémon disappeared without a trace. Is that really possible? I'm finding that a little hard to swallow. And he just walks off and thinks fade to black, because that's the last we'll ever hear of that. This Psyduck here is like dancing. Cider! Cider! I'm sorry, but for how derpy Psyduck is, I think Cider is like the perfect name for him. Sound from the TV appears to be disturbing the Pokemon. Really? I thought it was the sound from these big ol' honking speakers, not the TV set itself. Oh well. What do you have to say? This is actually something that I like. This is actually a character that I like, though, because he foreshadows something really interesting. Rumor has it there's a new Pokemon even Professor Crane has never seen aboard that missing ship. It's very worrying. I hope the Pokemon on board are safe from harm. What he says there is something that's really, really cool about this game. This came out on the tail end of Generation 3, and after a lot of Generation 4 Pokemon, or I think 5 Generation 4 Pokemon had been announced. For that reason, you're going to see shades of a lot of the Diamond and Pearl Pokemon in this game. You know, you might see some foreshadowing in the series. You might see some new Pokemon and those kinds of things. So I like it when they do that, where they sprinkle in new Pokemon and stuff like that. Go back here, you get yourself 2 antidotes. You should definitely get those. Those will heal poison status in battle. So yeah, definitely no reason to not pick that up unless you're doing a speed run and that chest is just that far out of the way for you. Alright, that fountain looks really good, by the way. I do have to praise the graphics in this game. This was a 2005 GameCube game, and it looks excellent, I do have to say. Anyway, we have a world selection screen. No routes in this game, unfortunately, just like Coliseum. And I gotta say, this is where Kaminko's house is. I want you to take special note of where it's located. Our baby sister crossed plains that wide, got across a river, and then walked between 2 mountain ranges to get to this house. I think our sister is fully, well, defending herself. Well, as creepy as this place is, I'm still certain she would be able to defend herself in this kind of place if she was able to walk through all that to get here. Gotta remain the optimist, after all. It's kind of the defining trait of my character. Or person, I should say. I'm not a character, I'm a person. I always try to be myself. Wait, who goes there? You must be a burglar. Chobin will put you straight. Don't you move. Chobin is the name, and Chobin is the #1 assistant to Dr. Kaminko. Chobin is the only assistant, so Chobin has to be the #1 assistant. I like this kid. I don't care what anyone says. I really, really like his kid. Kaminko Aid. I think that's a unique trainer class to this game. Alright, he does that kung fu pose to send out his Sunkern, which, for those who don't know, that is really freaking funny that we're battling a Sunkern here, because in terms of stats, Sunkern is the weakest Pokemon in existence. Its stat total is the lowest of anything. Outside of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, where it was good in the Pokeathlon events, this thing has had, like, no uses ever, so very fitting Pokemon for us to be battling right off the bat. And, I should bring special attention to this. I don't know if any of you guys thought that it was particularly funny while I wasn't really talking about it. Eevee has the best attack animation ever for tackle. Look at this. He jumps up and does a backflip, does a front flip, and then boom! Eevee, you are flashy, and I love it. I gotta have a flashy starter Pokemon, and you fulfill that role. Excellent. Don't get a level up, unfortunately, but hey. There we go. Our flashy Eevee won us that first battle against the weakest Pokemon of all. Chobin lost. Aww. His glasses fell off. Hey, his glasses are off. That means I can punch him now. Okay, that was really mean-spirited. I shouldn't talk like that. Okay. It's okay, Chobin. I forgive you. You've made Chobin very angry now. Even though Chobin lost, you're still not going past Chobin. Huh? A closer observation reveals that the subject is a child. Ergo, the subject is not a burglar. I can be a burglar and a child if I want to be. Aha! Chobin wishes you spoke up right away. Sorry, I'm a silent protagonist, even though you somehow know my name. The music sounds happier, but things just got a lot more grim. Meet one of my least favorite characters, Jovi. Oh, Jovi gets it. Big brother got lost, didn't you? No! There's no hiding stuff from Jovi because Jovi knows. See what I mean? It's just... I do want to apologize that there's been, like, a lot of text in this video, but like most RPGs, it's very text-heavy early on, but trust me, it does get better. But for the time being, I do have to say, even though I kinda like Chobin and think it's cute how he refers to himself in the third person, I don't like how Jovi does it. It's weird. Chobin referring to himself in the third person doesn't annoy me at all. But for some reason it does when Jovi does, and I don't find her cute. I'm sorry, but I don't get it. And she bothers the doctor a bunch. Let's see, have a look at Dr. Kamiko's inventions, you will, yes? Okay, this way, please. Follow Chobin. See, it's cute when he does it. I mean, he walks like he's got a stick up his butt, and I guess it kind of makes sense that he talks like he's got a stick up his butt. But for our little kid sister, I just don't find it adorable. Like, I think that's what they were going for. Okay, Chobin will now show you the inventions of the inestimable Dr. Kamiko. Dr. Kamiko's inventions, it needs to be said, are #1 in the world. Chobin is full of admiration. Oh, why does Chobin know that they are #1 worldwide? That needs explaining. In the whole wide world, no one but Dr. Kamiko would invent such inventions. Therefore, they are #1 in the world without question. Our Dr. Kamiko, who is verily great, is inventing in that room there. Hi, Doctor. What kind of funny machine are you making this time? Jovi wants to know. See, it's just not as good when she does it. Oh, the girl's at Dr. Kamiko's side again, so she's bugging him, of course. Anyway, let Chobin acquaint you with just some of Dr. Kamiko's greatest inventions. Let the VCR roll! You can tell this game is very dated. I love that phase. Dr. Kamiko's inventions are #1 in the world. Chobin's choice this time is this. Ta-da! The unhealthy sandals. This insole is studded with lumpy nubs that fail to stimulate every pressure point in a fabulous way. Keep wearing these and Chobin will guarantee painful feet and chronic worsening of your health. Chobin thinks it's superlative. This VCR has so many different inventions that you can see, and of course I do want to show at least a few of these at some point. You can view them absolutely at a time because Chobin gives us the permission to do it whenever we want, so I like that an awful lot. Anyway, what do we got going on here? What does Dr. Kamiko have to say? Incidentally, child, how long have you been here? That's all he has to say. What's up, Jovi? We were sent here to get you, so we shall. We'll pull you away from annoying this guy. This is a funny drawing. It's a really detailed drawing of a really weird machine. Are you going home already, big brother? But you just got here. Oh, Jovi gets it. Jovi has to show you how to get home now, right? Well, okay, to be fair, you did get here on your own, whereas I had to use a motor scooter, so I suppose you would know your way pretty dang well if you walked all the way here, whereas I had to use a vehicle. All right. And it jumps down her shirt. Interesting. Place to store your Pokemon, Jovi. Okay. All right, so there she goes. And, you know, I don't think I've ever talked to this guy. What does he have to say? Let's see real quick. Come from the Pokemon HQ lab. My name is Makon. I run the part shop in Gatsby Park. Oh, wow! This guy's actually a bit of foreshadowing. How's the lab's director, Professor Crane? Yes. Okay. Oh, my. Even this young lady came to the Pokemon HQ lab. Take care on your way home. Aw. We will. Jovi will come for another visit. God help us all. Anyway, I did say that I wanted to show a few inventions on the screen, and we got our kid sister back, which is what we were sent here to do. So before we end things off, I want to see what this VCR has got to show. Let's see, what kind of inventions do we have here? We have the power-draining light bulb. It looks like an ordinary light bulb, but it positively gulps electricity at 10 times the usual rate. Using this, electricity bills will grow shockingly, and it won't be easy to find out why. Chobin thinks this is dazzling. Okay, Chobin, what else do you got? The time cut recorder. It works with your video deck. When you're recording a TV program, this device ends the recording 5 minutes early. If you recorded a movie, you'll be at the best part when suddenly the screen goes blank.